the Hamptons Marathon, won it for the second year in a row. Won the Sri Trimnoy Marathon, won the New Jersey Marathon, 2008. Second place finish at the Tallahassee Marathon. What happened that day? I want to ask that, but we'll get back to that.
Someone's done their homework over here. What's going on?
Second place finish at the JFK 50 miler. 1,000 runners competed. Then, of course, the Hawaii Ironman World Championships, 2007. Great finish there. And then, the Vermont 100 miler, another great finish for you. Oz, this is not a hobby. Can you tell us a little bit about your running?
This is a psychological issue, probably. What am I running away from, as Freud would say? I don't know. I got into running not too long after meeting you guys and getting together with Penguin Magic. It was just a few years later where this is how I kind of got my energy out of me and found a different way to train, not just my mind but my body, and have something to look forward to. Races, competing. I loved competing in high school. I was a swimmer. You were a swimmer. And the camaraderie you have with the people you swim with, and not just that, I mean, most of my best friends are people I swam with in high school. In fact, talking of running, I'm in running attire. As soon as we're done with this interview, I'm going out for a 10-miler before my show at 6 p.m. I have 6 to 10 shows. So here's my workstation, too. If you notice, I'll show you in a sec, this is all the stuff is laid out for tonight's law firm party, and then get in a quick 1-hour run, and that's my life, the marathon running magician. But to me, it's fulfilling. It gives me something to look forward to. Otherwise, you just work. You got to find your passion. For some people, they start a business and they work 24/7. I mean, I've seen you do it. You're just very focused, and you can either evolve into business where business is fully yours. For me, the running gives me something to look forward to. And how I became good at it, I don't even know. I mean, this was not something I've always been good at. I was not a college runner. I was very loosely a high school runner. I was terrible in high school, just absolutely horrible. And now it's fun. I train with another guy. We run together. It gives me motivation. And now these races have become a part of my life, where if I didn't have them, I don't know what I would do instead. And then with Magic has its peaks and valleys for me now. Now that it's a business, I approach it as a business, but I always want to learn new stuff. And my creative bursts, they fire off. Like this month, I've been very creative. I have a sheet with my ideas. I have a lot of new ideas, a lot of new things I'm working on, stage routines, close-up routines, where I just get these ideas. I'll be in the shower. I'll be flying to a gig on the plane. I'm really, for some reason, when I'm flying, I just sit down and I just crank out magic tricks. And I come up with really cool effects. And I can't control that. I wish I could, but I might have 6 months where I don't think of any magic. I don't want to do magic. I'm just doing the same tricks. And then I'll have 2 months where I just spend hundreds of dollars. I buy all the new stuff on the market. I break out all my old books. I start reading. I get obsessed again. And I'm like that 13-year-old who, got smitten by the magic bug on a cruise ship. But it used to be when I was 13 to 18, I was like that all the time. Now it comes and goes. But running is kind of the other part of me, just like you said. Other than the magic, the running, I've kind of given up the triathlons for the time being. I'm focusing on my running. Next year I have a lot of big goals, so...
Well, I like your training techniques, and your this sounds to me a lot more like you're training for a David Blaine-like stunt, maybe for a future TV special. This is my theory. I know you haven't admitted to that, but let's talk a little bit about some of your more bizarre training habits. Your training
Sure.
habits. For example, I talked to a young lady who had slept over at your house. Just met her on the street randomly. She had apparently spent the night at your house. And she was telling me that you actually sleep in some funky moon boots. What's that all about?
Interesting. Yeah, there's been a whole variety of different things I sleep in. Now that we're getting this out in the open, but those were the plantar fasciitis boots. They're boots that hold your feet in a certain position to stretch the tendons. I was getting over an injury for a little while there. I have a machine that I'm trying to sell. If anybody wants to buy it, it's yours. It's a hypoxic altitude machine, where that same lady that I think I know who you're talking about, I used to have this machine that looks like a hose with an oxygen mask attached to what looks like a big air conditioner. I mean, it looks like Darth Vader style, like, Luke, I am your father. And then this thing is on me all night and pumping air with less oxygen, so it feels like you're sleeping at altitude. It's a legal way of making your blood cells, red blood cell count go up. Therefore, you can bind more oxygen. You have better endurance. I had that going for a few months, but that's
So you're
not so.
wearing the moon boots, you've got the Darth Vader mask on, and I believe you're also sleeping in a tent. Is this correct?
There's no tent. No, no tent. Though I have my suit on with my dove harnesses in case in the middle of the night I wake up, take off the mask, take off the boots, and I can produce a dove at will. That's a hookup though. That's a little underground magic technique.
But this is really just where it starts to get weird, because when we were in Las Vegas doing a video shoot, I remember you were telling me about your compacts. You were telling me about your compacts, and it sounded really cool because even though you don't acknowledge me as someone who works out, I do work out almost every day. And you were telling me about
I
your
don't
compacts.
acknowledge you.
No,
What?
you were on the phone with your training partner last time we were together in New York. You guys were talking about me, and so I hear, yeah, you're talking Maxwell's here, this and that, and then I hear you say, no, he doesn't work out. But I work out, but you don't think that my workout is a workout.
Oh
Anyway,
man,
enough. But
we were talking about somebody else. I don't know what you mean.
Let's get back to your compact. So you were telling me about your compact. It sounded really cool, and you said, I went to pick you up at the hotel, and you said, hey, come on up. I want to show you my compacts. So
If only I was doing all these things right now. Right now is the off season, so I've got to get it together. But you just nailed it. I mean, the Compex electronic muscle stimulator. You put this thing on your legs, and it starts electrocuting you. Well, not electrocuting because that means it's shocking your legs and it's making the muscles very, very strong. It works. It works. It's unpleasant, but it takes time to get used to it. But man, that thing works.
So aside from this hotel room that I went in the
I haven't
hotel
used it
room,
over a year.
and there you were, literally getting electrocuted every few seconds, in your underwear. For the
I used to carry that thing on
viewers at
planes
home.
too.
Well, that's what I was going to get to. Now, it turned out you had been using the compact on your way on the airplane.
Yes.
What's it like to sit next to Oz Pearlman on an airplane?
They think I was about to bomb the place. Okay, when you take this thing out and it's got like red, green, yellow, and blue wires and it's like beeping and you're like strapping this thing to your body, they are for sure thinking, I mean, like shoe bomber, but even crazier. I had this one woman looking at me like nervously. I'm like, listen, lady, I'm a runner. This is just a device. It's just like for physical rehabilitation. She's like, okay. She thought she was about to die. Like she was having an aneurysm at that moment. She was like, yeah, and yep, I need to get that thing going. Come February, everything is back in play. Probably not the oxygen mask, but the power cranks. The bike is over here. You can't see it. The EMS I'm going to get back on, and I'll be running like crazy. Plus, I'll probably be doing 80-10-10. I'm hoping for probably like 2 months just to lose weight and be ready for the 100K national championships.
Can you tell the folks?
That's a whole different matter.
Can you tell the folks at home?
80-10-10 is a diet.
Okay, so it's an extremely restricted diet designed for optimal performance. And the power cranks, what's that? You mentioned power cranks. That's the
80-10-10 is a diet that my training partner he's involved in. I mean, it's not really complicated at all. It's just you eat fruits and vegetables, raw fruits and raw vegetables. That's what you eat to live. That's all you eat. You don't eat anything cooked. You don't eat any meat. And everyone says, how do you get your protein? Well, everything, fruits and vegetables, they have protein. They have vitamins. They have everything you need. They're probably the healthiest things you can eat. It's just a matter of can you adjust to it and can you handle it socially, because food is such a social activity. So, I mean, I've experimented with it. I've tried. I don't think I could do it sustainably forever, but I've made lots of movements towards healthier and healthier living. I've cut out a lot of things that are unhealthy, and I'm just, slowly moving along as to how I want to eventually eat, what my diet will be. The power cranks are something on my bike. I won't explain the whole thing, but they make you a better runner. So I power crank indoors. It strengthens my legs. Are people going to want to hear all this crazy running stuff? They're going to think I'm nuts.
I think they are going to want to hear it, and I like to hear it because I love your approach. I mean, it may be running, and I might not be training as a runner, but it's your approach. It's this approach that you'll do absolutely anything to improve yourself, and this focus with which you approach an area. And I think that's what's made you one of the top professional magicians in the country. I mean, so I really admire your approach, and